Hello, everybody. Today's topic is little people, or specifically, The Hobbit. Please enjoy your time. So, I'm dedicating this video and all the ones in my backyard to a little series I'm probably going to call Yard Talk. And it's not always going to be like book reviews, but this week I'm going to be talking about The Hobbit, which I just finished. Now, I started reading The Hobbit like a year ago, and I started reading it, well, because I never had, and I'd seen the movies. I've seen all three movies, but I've never read the book. And I've also never seen or read The Lord of the Rings. Don't crucify me for that one. But, needless to say, I've seen all the movies of The Hobbit. I want to read the book. I'd heard many things about the book. One of the most notable ones is how long the movies are, and that there's three of them, when there's only the one book that's about 275 pages long. I've got like 2 pages left actually, but I wanted to make this video before the weekend ended. And like the last like 15, 20 pages is all like chapter 1 of Lord of the Rings, The Fellowship, and like the annex and stuff at the back. So let's talk about The Hobbit. Take a seat in my non-icy chair this time. I'm not sitting in a puddle of ice like I was last Sunday. It's warmed up about 10 degrees. Although the day after I recorded the last Yard Talk video, it did drop down into the negatives and the singles. So that was fun. But The Hobbit. I got a pocketbook set of The Hobbit and Lord of the Rings. Each part broken up into a different book, which is nice. The reason why it's taking me so long to read it is because I got it in the mini set specifically to read at work. So I'll read it on like lunch or like break time, whatever, is when I mainly read it. And I had a lot of different stuff going on last year, studying and all that. So I wasn't always reading on break time. But recently I had more time, so we're almost done with it. I'll say I'll give an overall score. If we're doing it out of 5, I'd probably do like a 3.5 to 4 out of 5 for overall score. If we're doing it out of 10, probably like 7 out of 10. I really did like the book. Obviously, coming from only seeing the movies, it's a lot shorter. There's not 3 2-hour movies worth of content in this book. Starting from the beginning, when I started reading it, I did notice, since it was originally written, the first edition, like in the 1930s, the language is a little old. So some of the words, some of the sentence structure is a little harder to get behind. You know, it's not like reading a modern book, especially a modern fantasy book. So if like you're only used to reading modern fantasy, obviously I would still recommend it. I recommend this book, and I do plan on this week, like at work and so on, I'm going forward starting to read The Lord of the Rings and get into that. But I want to read The Hobbit first because it comes first in the whole series. It's still cold out here, by the way. I'm going to start shivering here in a second. I don't want this video to be too unbearably long. But the language is older. And I know there's more lore surrounding like Middle Earth and stuff. Especially, I know there's games, there's other books that were published after Tolkien's death and all stuff like that. But it is good. One thing about this edition is, like, even though it's a little pocket book, there are like some drawings and stuff in here, which is neat. Like maps and other stuff. A lot of things you don't get in this book are characters that are in the movies. There's a lot of stuff added from the movies. I haven't seen them in a long time, so I can't name them off, unfortunately, because it's been a long time since I've seen them. But that's kind of it. There is not, like, a lot of movies and stories are kind of broken up into 3 acts. You have all the whole build up into the climax. The one thing I didn't like about this when I got to this part was, now this is coming from a movie viewer, is the desolation of Smaug. It's very short. You have like maybe a couple chapters of Bilbo running around, then like the gold pile with his ring on, and a little bit of interaction with Smaug, however you say it. And it doesn't last that long. The major climax of the book is the Battle of the Five Armies, which there's an entire movie about. You have an unexpected journey, the desolation of Smaug, and then the Battle of the Five Armies. They drew that out so long, dude. I remember, I think when they're like getting to like the secret door to get into the mountain, that sequence is so drawn out in the movie. It's not like a lot of these drawn out sequences had maybe like a paragraph to it in the book, which was refreshing at the same time, coming from a movie viewer. It's like, this just got to the point a lot faster. One thing I did notice about J.R.R. Tolkien's writing style is it seems to almost come from like a second person, not third person, not first person. Because you see a lot from like Bilbo's point of view, and you don't see other people's thoughts, I believe. But from Bilbo's point of view, so you see his. And from my understanding, the book is supposed to be written like by Bilbo, like he's like an autobiography. So it kind of makes sense because the narrator is talking in first person multiple times. So he's saying I when there's no character speaking, which is an interesting way to write, but I can kind of see how it works. So it's kind of tricky to navigate, I think. I'm looking forward to the rest of the books, but I'd say 3.5 to 4, probably 3.75 out of 5, and then like a 7-ish out of 10 around there, just because it is a good book, and it is a good adventure. That's what it is. It's like not like a hardcore fantasy. It's like the beginning of fantasy, since it was written so long ago. The dragon is the lore behind the dragon is cool. It's not just a big beast. Like, he's intelligent, he can speak, and he has just his unrelenting desire for his riches, which is classical dragon lore. Then you have the elves and all the different monsters, but then you have the other intelligent creatures as well, like the eagles, which you don't see a lot of. You see them much more prominent, like towards the end of the third movie, but they kind of just come and go quick in the book. I'm trying to remember other things from the movies. It's been a long time. It's hard. But definitely would recommend. And then I do plan on starting The Lord of the Rings. Right now, the other book I'm reading, because I'm trying to, since these are like pocket editions, I keep them in the little side pocket on my lunchbox when I go to work. So I don't read it at home. So I dedicate like reading this to work time. Not on work time, but when I'm taking a break, whatever. But right now, home time is I'm in the middle of reading Meditations by Marcus Aurelius, which is good. I like it. A lot of good quotes in there. Talk about old language and old sentence structure. I know it's translated, but some of those writings he did, man, I can't make a sense of a lick of what he's saying. But other stuff I can, and it's, to me, like really good information, which I'm taking in and trying to implement in my own life, which some of it already aligns with the ideals I have now, just philosophy wise. But this video is about The Hobbit, which I would recommend. This set I got from Barnes & Noble. I think I got it on sale at the time, but really nice. It's like a thin leather bound, pocket size. It's got the illustrations in it, and it comes with both books, but Lord of the Rings is broke up into 3 books, so it can be a pocket edition. I'm going to try to do one of these every Sunday, at least every week. It may not end up being every Sunday, and it may not always be a book review, but this time it was, because I've basically just finished it, and I wanted to do this kind of series. I don't know, it's nice. I'm in my backyard. It's cold. The cold's not hitting me as fast as it did last time, but it's starting to get to me. So I'm going to wrap it up here. This wasn't an in-depth review. if I do another book review, it's not going to be in depth there either. It's just an overall review. Just kind of would I recommend it or not? I would. If you don't like old style writing, then it might not be your cup of tea, just because it is old and the style of writing's old. But if you do like old style writing, it is fun. Oh, the other thing is the songs that are in it, the little hymns that the dwarves and Bilbo and the elves do. A little annoying. I'll say that. I won't change the score. But could take it or leave it. But it's part of the book. It's part of the story. I ain't gonna knock it. But other than that, I think that's about it. It's a nice day out. Just out here enjoying the cold, enjoying my backyard. I have a privacy fence, but I don't feel very private because I think people can see over it. And I'm not comfortable recording videos in front of other people. So I just feel like I have eyes in the back of my head when I probably don't. And like, I shouldn't worry about it, which is why I'm still continuing to speak, because I don't know how to end this video either. But we're going to end it there. I'm going to walk off stage left, and then see you guys in the next episode of Yard Talk. We'll name it that. And I dressed this way for continuity's sake, so I look the same. Thanks. Bye-bye.